Hi, everybody. George Chamberlain here, watching your dollars on this Monday, July 25th. Hope you all had a good weekend. Boy, aren't we lucky to live in San Diego. The weather has just been miserable over most of this country. It's starting to cool down a little bit in some places, but not good. And we here in Southern California have really had pretty good weather to enjoy. All right, let's get to the dollars and cents stuff here. Last week was a good week. The stock market, the Dow was up about 1.6%, the NASDAQ up 2.5%. And so that makes it 3 out of the last 4 weeks that the markets have been higher. We'll take that anytime we can get it. This weekend, it was a lot of concern about the debt ceiling thing, raising the amount of money that the government can borrow to keep operating. And most of the people out there had kind of been hoping that we would get some kind of resolution to this debate over the weekend. It didn't happen. The cable news services were saying this was going to lead to Armageddon this morning, financial Armageddon, and the global stock markets would all crash since we didn't come up with any kind of an agreement. Well, that, of course, was hardly the case at all. We are trading a little bit lower this morning, down about 0.5% on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We had opened with a loss of about 125, 130 points as we record this a little bit after 8 o'clock on Monday morning. Dow's down about 60, 70 points, so nothing real bad. Gold continues to, go up in here. Gold's up about, gold's up about $16, $17 an ounce this morning. That takes it to around $1,619 an ounce. That's another all-time record high there, so that's kind of crazy stuff. What else we got going on? Not too much. Light week as far as economic news is concerned. Tomorrow we get a report on consumer confidence. Later in the week we get the weekly report on jobless claims. There's a couple other things out, but nothing dramatic to move the markets. That will change next week when we get into the big week for employment news, jobs news out there. We'll keep an eye on that. Kind of a sad story. A guy by the name of Elliot Handler. He was, along with his wife Ruth, the founders of a company that we know today as Mattel. When they started back in 1945, they were making basically picture frames. That's what they did. And then they started branching off into making dollhouse furniture, little sofas and stuff like that. And that went really well for them. They needed to grow their business a little bit, and they didn't quite know how to do it, but they had great success. They were making other toy products by this point in time. And then in 1959, there was a new TV show that came on, and they basically took all of their wealth in order to be able, all the money they'd saved and everything, to be able to advertise on this program, and it turned out to be a pretty good fit, because the show that they sponsored was the Mickey Mouse Club. And obviously it was a perfect audience for their toys. In 1959, they had a daughter whose name was Barbara, and from that came the Barbie doll. And that, of course, one of the most iconic toys of all time. By the way, where'd the name Mattel come from? They had a good friend along the way whose name was Matt. His first name was Matt. And so they combined his name, and he became a part of the company, a very active part of the company. His first name, Matt, combined with the first part of Handler's first name, Elliot. They took Matt L, and Mattel was what came out of that. That's how the company got its name. But he passed away at the age of 95, one of the great entrepreneurs of our time. Watching your dollars, I'm George Chamberlain. Have a good one.